Good morning, everyone. This is Bremster, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle that I've been sitting on for over a week. This was first recommended to me, I would say, about 10 days ago. And I had a look at the puzzle, and I have to admit, I was a little daunted by it. And I then reached out to the setter, Andrewsarchus, and said I wanted to do the puzzle. Was given permission, and I tried to record a video on this yesterday, and then I got an urgent call from work, and I had to work all day yesterday, which was a weekend. And I'm trying to do this now on a Monday morning before work, and I'm doing one thing a little bit differently on this, which is Andrewsarchus sent me a solution guide for the puzzle because there's a when I explain the rule set, you'll understand why things could go a little wrong with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a copy of the solved grid hidden on my other screen. And if I feel I'm 100% stuck, what I'm going to do is I might turn around and see if I've gone wrong. And if I've gone wrong, I could roll back to where I'm not wrong and then roll forward from there, not looking at the grid, so that I can still present the puzzle, because I'm a little bit worried that I might just completely go off the chart here. Because for me, as I've said before, it's all about presenting the good puzzles rather than about me showing off solving skill, because I'm okay, but I'm not a great solver, not like Ranks or Scott or Mark or Simon, or Kishore. Kishore's phenomenal, and Ashish. So yeah, this is a puzzle called Deuces Wild. And the reason it's called Deuces Wild is because twos are wild. Um, and this blows my mind a little. So the rules that I've put up on screen, I've got at the top the list of rules that are just a list of the rules that are in play, but the main rules I've put in play are the Deuces Wild effect, which is that the digit 2 is a wild card. And while it still must adhere to the normal Sudoku rules, the digit 2 may, for the purpose of fulfilling any other constraints, can take on an integer value from 1 to 9. Different instances of the digit 2 may take on a different value from each other, but sorry, may take on different values from each other, but a single instance may not take on multiple values to satisfy multiple constraints. And what that means is, let's say, for example, this cell here was a 2. If that was a 2, and say we figured out that this had to be a 7, it would be a 7 for both the arrow and for the German whispers line. So this could be a 2, and that would mean that, say, this would have to be a 1 in order to make that an 8, and then this would, so 7 plus 1, and then this would be a 7, and we've broken the puzzle because I'd need to put a 1 or a 2 on the whisper line or something. So we can see here that that won't work, but that's the way that it would work in the puzzle. All constraints attached to a particular instance of the digit 2 must be satisfied by a single wild value, and that's what I was just going into. So any time that we get an instance of 2, it must work on all of those. So as I said, if we were to put a 2 here, whatever this turns out to be, even a 2 itself, all of the constraints will use whatever value that turns out to be. So let's try another one. If that's 2, 3, 5, or if that's 2, 3, 7, the 2 being a 4, then this would have to be a 9, and that works because we've got 4 plus 3 is 7, and on the other side of the whispers line is a 9. Apart from that, however, 2s must obey normal Sudoku rules. So what are the other rules in effect? I'll go through them quickly without the ramifications that I normally do. Normal Sudoku rules: box, rows, columns 1 to 9. Whisper lines, the adjacent digits must be at least 5 apart. Ratio dots, which is cells attached by ratio dots, must have a ratio of 1 to 2. Arrows, digits placed on arrows, you sum them up and put the total in a circle. Killer cages, the digits in the cages, you sum them up and they must sum to the digit in the top left corner. And the big grey line here is a palindrome. So that digit will equal that digit will equal that digit, and all the way around the palindrome. And with that, this puzzle is solvable. Below, I will put all the links as always. I believe this is on Logic Masters Germany. If it is, there'll be a link to that below, as well as to this in F Puzzles and the Cracking the Cryptic app. Let's give this a shot. I've really got almost no idea where to start. Except those two highlighted cells tell me that is the same cell, that is the same cell on the palindrome, that is the same cell on the palindrome, that is the same cell on the palindrome. Those must be the same digit, but they're in the same column. So one of those must be a 2. Is there anything else along that? So those must be the same, those must be the same, those two are on a palindrome and see each other. One of those two must be a 2. I didn't put the pencil mark in the corner of those two because they're in different boxes and I'm not up to doing that yet. Actually, it's going to be interesting along the palindrome, isn't it? Because I have no idea if this is right, but say I determine, for example, this is 1, 5, or 4, then that would mean that this is 1, 2, 5, or 4. Because 2 could be any value here. And if I determine on one end of a palindrome, say this could be 1, 2, or 6, this could still be absolutely anything. Okay, that's something to bear in mind. But these ones, there must be a 2 in one of those and a 2 in one of those, because otherwise the palindrome will break the rules of Sudoku. I'm just confirming they don't see each other, they don't see each other, they don't see each other. Yep. There could still be 2s in these, I think. Now I did hit, when I was doing the example, I hit a restriction up here, but I don't think that was just because I put in a bad example where I was turning around and saying I'd use 2 as a particular number and then put something else at the end of it. There's like 90, is it 80? I think it's 80 something combinations of 2 digits, and once I add 2 as wild, then that blows that out to probably close to 100 combinations that I could put in here. I'm not going to go through all of them, that's dumb. I just happened to pick a bad combo. There's probably only like 60 or something with the arrow and everything, but even still, going through those is not the way this is intended to be solved. Now, I know I can't put a 2 here because there must be a 2 in one of those two, so I can't put 2 in any of those. Well, that restricts this a little because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't put 2 in either of them. So that has to be a 1, 4 because I can't put 2 in either of the cells on the V. That doesn't restrict the 14 cages. It does mean, it does give me a slight restriction on this X. That if it is 9, 1, it has to be 1, 9. Except I can put a 2 on this, so... Ugh. Now... Now, that is 2 away from... Hang on, that is 2 away from that. Because these white Kropki dots are all in the same box. Hang on, that is 2 away from that. I know I just said that, but I'm thinking of the ramifications. So these are 3 cells are consecutive. So whatever this is, this has to be lower than it. Unless this is 2. So if we go 9, 8, 7, this is just an example for now, then these would have to sum to 2. But the minimum they could be is 1 and 2, which sums to 3. If this is 8, 7, 6, same. If this is 7, 6, 5, the same. 6, 5, 4, the same. 4, 3, 2, the same. 3, 2, 1. Hang on, but I need... This is a 3-cell arrow. I should have started with... Okay, so this is 6, 7, 8, or 9, because this is a 3-cell arrow. What am I even talking about? Now, this could also be a 2. So this is 2, 6, 7, 8, or 9, because I could use the 2 to stand in. But I don't think I can. This has to go down. So let's assume not the 2 just for now. I need to figure this out. So this means this must be lower than this unless this is a 2. So this is 8, 7, 6, or 5, and this is 7, 6, 5, or 4. Now, if this is 8, 6, these need to sum to 2, but they can't. If this is 7, 5, these need to sum to 2, but they can't. Because unless I use a 2 to stand in for a 1. So I can make these both equal 1. Obeying the rules of Sudoku, because I haven't repeated a 1 in the row, but I'm using a 2 in place of a 1 for the arrow. Now, if I put a 2 here and call it, say, a 9, can I do it by putting a 2 in the middle and breaking... No, I can't, because it has to... So, for example, if I went 9, 2 and said the 2 is an 8, this still has to treat this as an 8 and has to be a 7. And because it has to... All clues have to treat the 2 as if it is a... Because of the rule that all clues that see a 2 have to treat it as the same digit, if I use a 2 anywhere in here, I still have the equivalent of using, say, 987, and these have to sum to 2. And if I've used the 2 in there, I can't do it. This must be a 1, 2. This is not the 2. This is not a 2. This is a 2. This is not a 4, so this is not a 5, and this is not a 6. And it's not a 4 because of the V. Now, there's no 2 in here, so these 14 cages must be real. Now, you make 14 with either 9, 5, or 8, 6. Which means these two values are known. Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7. So there's no 7 here, so there's no 6 here, so there is no... Sorry, it was 6, 7, there's no 8 there. So this is either 7 or 9. This arrow now can't have a 2 on it. What digits do I have left? I can't use 1, 2, 3. I must use a 4. I must use a 4. And if it was 4 here, this would have to be 1, 3. And it can't be. I don't have 1 or 3. So 4 is on the arrow. Without 1, without 2, without 3. So it's 4, 5. This is 9. So there's no 9 here, so there is no 5 here. This is not 5, so this is not this is a 6-8. So if that's a 6-8, this is a 5-9. This is a 7. This is a 6. This is a 5. That 6 makes that an 8, which makes that a 6. That's beautiful. Sorry, the way that you can determine that these two have to be 2s, then this run of consecutive dots forces the 1, 2 into there. These 14 cages restricting it down to these. Row 5 then forcing this to be 9, 4, 5, and then the precision with which these are laid out. The V without any of these clues placed precisely this way, that entire structure just does not work. That is beautiful. Okay, so we know that. Sorry, that I'm gobsmacked. Andrewsarchus. It is. I've got a queue of puzzles to come out. This is not going to be seen on my channel for like a week after it's recorded. I hope and pray that this puzzle is dead on my channel by the time it comes out, because it's been featured like on Cracking the Cryptic and everywhere else. This deserves it. Okay, so we know that in a 14 cage it was 5, 6, 8, and 9. This can't be 5 or 9, so it's 6 or 8, and it can't be a 6. This has to be an 8, and I can't use a 2 in this box. So this is an 8. 8 goes with either 2 or 6. So it's normally 8, 6, but I do have 2 available here. I have to remember that. Down here, I can't use 2 in this cell, so this is 5 or 9, and this is 5, 9, or 2. No, it's not 2. This is a 5, 9. I can't use 2 in this box because 2 must be in this. That is just glorious. I can't use 2 in this column. So this is a 5, 9. So this is a 2, 6, 8. And I've got a 2, 6, 8 triple in the box without there being an 8 here. This is the 2, 6 pair. This is an 8. This gives me a 2, 6 pair, which means this is the 1 and this is the 2. This 1, 4 now puts a 4 right there. This is insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 2, 3, or 9. Have to remember the 2. Because this can still be a 2. But that is the equivalent of that on the palindrome. And this we know is the equivalent of that, but that's a 2. So that was always forced by the fact that those two cells see each other in the same box. 2 is now up here somewhere. What's the ramification of 2 on an X? I'm just going to pause to blow my nose. Hay fever season in Melbourne, always fun. So I was asking, what is the effect of 2 on an X? Now, normally if I put 2 there, this would be 8. But I think this means that 2 could go with anything. Yeah, I think it does. So what is next? Yeah, really, what is next? Okay, these 3 digits are known because I've got all of those 6. So this is 1, 3, and 6. So these 3 digits are actually known. 3, 7, and 8. So 2, 7, and 8. I said 2. I said 3 because I was looking here to do the eliminator. 2, 7, and 8. So this can be absolutely anything. This, which is the other end of that, can be absolutely anything. Well, it can't be 2, 6, or 8. Which means this can't be 8. Because if this was 8, this would have to be 2 or 8. So I can't put an 8 there. So there is an 8 in one of those two. This is 2 or 7. Now this is narrowed down to 5 digits up here. I can't use 1, 2, 3. There must be a low digit on this. Oh no, I can use 3. So it's 3 or 4 on this. I can't use 2. I don't know why I said I can't use 3. 4 must go in here somewhere. Is that providing pressure? I'm not sure, but I did just notice this. 2 9s looking at this. So this can't be 9, 4. It could be 8, 5. It could be 7, 6. So they're the only options for in there. That's not restricted at all. That's a 5, 9 pair. This feels unrestricted because once I put 2 on it, maybe I do want to look at this column. So 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. Ugh. Can't put 5 on a whisper line. So this is 3, 4, 7, or 9. 7 would have to go with 1 or 2. This is not 7. There is a 9 on this whisper line. So I can take 9. There is a 9 on this whisper line. This is a 3. This does become a 4, 9. Well, that was hidden. Can't put a 5 on a whisper line. That's 7. That's 5. I lucked into that. I did not see that coming. So this is 1 or 2. And even if I used a 2, it's 1 or 2. This is 1 or 2. 5 now has to go up here somewhere. As does 8. 5 and 8 are in there. As is 6, because 6 can't go there and there is no 6 in there. So this is 5, 6, and 8. So these are 1, 2, and 3. Four is 1 and 3. 9. Oh, because I can put 2 on here, I can put 9 is either 1 and 8, and I can use the 2 as the 8, or 9 is either 3 and 6, and I could use the 2 as a 6. Yeah, I don't see how to restrict that at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 2, 5, 6, or 8. It's not 5. This could still be 5, though, because this can be 2. So this is 2, 6, or 8. Oh, there's a 2, 7. Oh, yeah, 2, 7 means that's anything. But I know what these two digits are now. Oh, this is a 9. I know what these two digits are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 9. And these are 1, 3, and 7. Hang on, there's no 5 here. Why did I not put 2s in this cage? I think everything I put in this cage was bogus. I can use 2s in place of any of those digits. But I can't put 5 here. But I can still use... The other side of 5 is 8, but I can still use 8 too. So, have to remember 2s exist. It is so easy to forget. I feel like I'm running out of information. Like, I've made good progress in 25 minutes, but I don't know what to do next. Is it this whisper? I've got no information. Like, the thing that seems most restricted is this column, but I've only restricted 3 digits. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, or 7, because that's 1, 3, or 7. This is 1, 3, or 7, which is fine. If I put a 2 there, that's any of them. If this 7 goes with a 2, then it is counting as a 2 or a 1. It would make that a 4 and that a 9. I don't see a problem with that. What don't I have in this column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I'm using everything, so I was wondering if there was a digit that I had to force somewhere. I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. But 2 could stand in for any of them. So this can't be 2, 6, or 8. So this is 1, 3, or 4. So this is 1, 3, or 4, or 2. If this is 2, I don't want to think about 2s. If this is 8, this is 4, and this is either 2 or 4. If this is 1, this has no value because I can't put either a 1 or a 2 there. This cannot be a 1. Now, I could absolutely put a 2 there to count as the 2 itself, but I cannot fulfill that. So this cannot be a 1. If I put a 2 there, anything is possible. If I put a 3 there, that would need to be a 6 because I can't put a wild there. That can't be a 3. If I put a 4 there, that would need to be a 2 or an 8, and it can't be. This cannot be a 4. So this is down to 2, 6, or 8. But that 2, 6, or 8 allows that to be anything. 9 is in one of those two. And it can't be there. This is a 9. 9 cannot be in any of those because of the Kropki, which I should have seen earlier. 9 can't be in any of those because it's there. 9 has to be in one of those two, and that 5, 9 knocks it out. That's a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, cool. And it was 2 or 9 because of that 9. Right. So that means this is a 4 and this is a 9 because normal Sudoku rules apply. Otherwise, I think my brain would explode. Does that 4 put any pressure on that Kropki dot? So I don't know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those two cells are the same. And they can't be 5 or 9. But the top one could still be 2. These cells are restricted. They could be 1, they can't be 2, 3, 4, can't be 5, can't be... These are 1, 3, 4, and 7. Because they can't be 2, 5, 6, 8, or 9. So these are 1, 3, 4, or 7. That one can't be 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. That is not helpful. Although I am 4 cells to a quintuple. The name of an art house flick from the 60s, maybe? Possibly from one of the... It's early. Four cells to a quintuple does sound like a very strange noir movie. So we know that this is either 6, 7, 8, 2, or there is a 2 in here. Because it could be 6, 2 or 7, 2 as well. So there could, if there's no 2 in here, it's 6, 7. I mean, I'm so close to triples all over the place, but this being 2 allows that to be anything. I haven't put a 5 in here yet. Wait, I haven't put a 5 in this column. Wait. Just because 2s can be wild doesn't mean I can put 5s on whisper lines. Five can't go in here. 5 can't go in here. Because it sees 2 5s. 5 can't go on a whisper line. 5 can't go on a whisper line. 5... I've broken the puzzle. Ah, crap. I've broken the puzzle. Or I haven't broken the puzzle, and that's a 2. Because that obeys the rules of Sudoku, and I've got 5 plus 5 is 10. That's evil. I'm not going to check if that's correct. I'm going to assume that's forced and that I haven't made a mistake, and I'm going to go from there. That 7 forces that to be a 7 and takes 7 out of those. That's not 7 anymore. Now I've used the 2, so I can no longer use the 8. This is a 6, 7. I can't use a 7 here. This is a 1 or a 3. 6 now must be in here. 6 is used in here, so that's a 2 or an 8. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter. Because if I put a 2 in here, then the whole thing is absolutely golden. So except now I'm worried about this whisper line. Now I'm really worried about this whisper line. Because I just noticed 6, 7, and 9 are taken. So I've only got one high digit. So it has to go there. And it can't. So there must be a 2 on this whisper line. Okay, so a whisper line must go high, low, because the 5 difference on the whisper line means that you can never put a 5 on the whisper line, which is what I used here, because 5 lower than 5 is 0, 5 higher than 5 is 10. But when you put a digit on a whisper line, because of the 5 difference, if you start higher than 5, you must go lower than 5. And if you start lower than 5, you must go higher than 5, because you'll always leapfrog the 5. Now, I've used 6, 7, and 9 in this box. Now, if we ignore the tool rule and everything else outside the box, that would mean that I would need to go high, low, high. I've got one high digit, so it would mean this would have to be the high digit and these would have to be low. But the only high digit I have left is 8, and that means I would have to put an 8 there, which I cannot do. Right. So I have to put a 2 on this line somehow in order to make it work, because if I make this low, which I could do, I would then need to use 2 high digits, and I could put the 8 there, and then this would be a 2 counting for the other high digit. But the minute I am yeah, if I don't put a 2 on this line, like if there's no 2 on this line, this has to be an 8, and it can't be. So there is a 2 on this line, which means this is the 8, and now I've got no high digits. So if I use a low digit here, and these become high, I've only got... I'm going to remove the colouring from that. If I use a low digit here and both of these become high, then I can only replace one of them with a 2, and I've already used all the high digits. So that's not going to work. I need to make this a high digit because I've only got one wild. I have to put a 2 in the middle, replacing a high digit. And let's, for the sake of argument, call it 9 so that I can put any low digit in there. So these are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which means 5 must go in here, which makes that a 4 and that a 5. Wow! There is no 2 in there because I've already used the 2 in the box. There is no 4 at the top. And this gives me a 1, 3 pair. There's no 2 there. That 2 is seeing that, so we know that that has to be a 2, because one of these two had to be a 2. Very first deduction we made, otherwise this palindrome is balked. So we've now got a 2 up here. These are a known pair now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, and 8. Whichever one of those is a 4 goes with a 9. and 8 must go with 1, 2, or 3, or 1 or 3 in this case. So that's 1, 3, or no, that's not true. That is complete and utter nonsense to 139. No. I do know 9 has to be in one of them, but I don't know because I can't just pencil mark one. No, I can pencil mark 1, 3, or 9 because one of them is going to have to go with 1 or 3 and the other one is going to have to go with 9. So yes, 1, 3, or 9 there is accurate. But it doesn't restrict all of this that I can see. 5 can't be there because of that 5, 9 pair. That's the 5. So this is a 1, 3, 4. 4 must go down here. This is my 1, 3, 4. So this is 2, 6, or 7 to complete that triple because I've got that triple and that pair. This could be absolutely anything because it matches up with this. They're fine. This can no longer be a 2, which matches up with that. This is an 8. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That must be an 8 now, so there's no 8 in there. This is now either 2 or 7 only. I can't put a 1 or a 3 in there. Wrong cell. It's that cell. I can't put a 7 there anymore, which I couldn't anyway because of that. So that was 8. Can't go in those. 1, 3, 1, 2. 2 must go in one of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And 2, actually, that must be a 6 because of that 2. So that's a 6. That's not a 6. That has to be a 3 now. So that's either a 2 or a 3. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That's not a 6 anymore. This is a 1, 2, 3 triple. So that's the 4. 1, 3, 6, 9. What am I missing from that column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no 7 in that column. So that's not a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not a 7. In fact, neither of those are 3. So that's a 1, that's a 4, that's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 3. That's a 1, that's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's a 6. There is no 1 up there, so this is a 3, 9. So that's a 2, that's a 1. I'll get to the palindrome when I can. Okay, 7, 7, 1, 1, 3, 3, something 2, 4, 4, 8, 8, 9, 9, 2, something, and whatever is in the middle. There is no 1 here anymore. This is a 1. So 1, 3 will go with 4. 1, 2 can go with either of those. This is not a 1. This is a 5 and this is a 6 because of the 6 over here. Actually, I should be able to narrow this down. The 4 makes this a 9, which makes this a 4, which works for that. The 4 looks back, making this 8 and this 4. The 4 must go with the 9. The 8 now must go with the 3. This is a 6 or a 7 because of the 6, 7 here. This has to be forced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I can't put 2 there. This must be the 2, because 6 would have to go with 3, 8 would have to go with 4, and I don't have either of them. So that's the 2. I've now got a 6, 7 pair. This becomes the 8. So this is a 6. This is a 2. I've got to be down to Sudoku now, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9 in here. I can't put 7 or 9 at the top. That's a 5, which makes that a 9, that a 5, that a 7. The 5 makes that 9 and that 5. In here, I need to put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That 6 makes that 7 and that 6, which looks over making that 7 and that 6. The 7 looks up making that 3 and that 7. Why do I always mistype at the end? That 1 looks down making that 4 and that 1. The 2 looks over making that 3 and that 2. And I think that's how you complete Deuces Wild. So the Sudoku looks good. 7 is next to 1. 9 is 1 plus 8. 9 is next to 4. That's good. 6 is next to a wild 3. 6 is next to 3. 4 is next to 9. 8 is on 3. That's fine. 5 plus 5 equals 10. 9 is 4 and 5. 6 and 8 is 14. 9 and 5 is 14. 7, 1, 1 and 5. 7, 6, 5. 8 and 6, 8 and 6. 9 and 5, 9 and 5, 8 and 6. 3 and 4 with a 9 in the middle. 6 and 7. And then we've got 7 and 7, 1 and 1, 3 and 3, 7 and 7, 4 and 4, 8 and 8, 9 and 9, 2 and, 7 and 7, and 3 in the middle. And a 1, 4. That was glorious. I am much more impressed by the puzzle than I am about in my solve of it. But I am very happy I was able to get through that in just under 50 minutes. Thank you, Andrewsarchus, for allowing me to do that. Thank you for sending me a solve guide. But wow, everyone, I really do hope that this puzzle has been seen everywhere else before I get to show it off. I, I, I'm really tempted to reorder my queue and bring this one up forward, but I'm not going to, probably, because that would be rude to everyone else. I might bump my puzzle because the next one before this, I think, was supposed to be a puzzle of mine. So it's possible that tomorrow's puzzle will be one of mine if yesterday's wasn't. Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. That was great. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope that if you struggled to find the break-in or anything, my solve was able to help you get through it, because this one was definitely worth giving a shot. Thank you everyone for watching, and good luck with your solving.